Hey y'all, it's Riot. Welcome back to Weekly Hyperfixations. I may look a little disheveled. I have had food poisoning for a couple days. So, we are crunching this on the time that my medicine is kicking in. So, super fun and whimsical. Okay. This week, not a whole lot of topics, but all very I guess ample's not the word, but there's a lot to talk about, basically. I guess ample is the word, but not contextually correct. But okay. The Video Music Awards happened. Hell yeah. So first and foremost on that, Audrey Nuna, who worked on K-pop Demon Hunters, went on the red carpet wearing, functionally, a sleeping bag, therefore paying tribute to the character Mira. And that was very beautiful. Also, all four people who worked on that coming in together was really good. And I believe they also presented one of the VMAs that Sabrina Carpenter won. So there's some really cute pictures from that. Let's see. Okay. I guess next we'll move to Sabrina Carpenter. She won, I believe, 3 VMAs, one of them being Short and Sweet, winning Album of the Year, which is a banger. Absolutely it is. And then for her performance, it was her first live performance of the song Tears, which, by the way, banger if you haven't listened to it. Even aside from the VMA's performance, even though the VMA's performance is very important. First of all, my favorite part about just the staging of the VMA's performance was that she crawled out of a sewer grate, not unlike the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is really funny. But she had a lot of Drag Race cast members on stage with her, and so there were a lot of drag performers on stage, and they all held up signs at one point varying from anything from goodbye, but bi spelled as in the abbreviation for bisexual, protect the dolls, trans rights, everything of that sort, really. And she had them all hold up those signs while she was off to the side in a little phone booth changing, so the cameras would have to focus on the main stage, which was a really great move. It was a really good performance. Also, there was a moment where they had, artificial rain for the dance break, and that was really good. Also, I imagine on a stage where you're dancing and singing that much, it gets rather hot. So that seems very refreshing, honestly. So overall, a 10 out of 10 performance, I think. Let's see. Gaga performed her song from Wednesday. I can't remember the name of it. Something dead. Something Gaga. I'm really hoping that my medicine kicks in because I'm struggling a teeny bit. Gaga VMA's performance, because I can't remember the name of that song. Those are all previous. The Dead Dance, that's what it is. She performed the Dead Dance. It was very cool. A banger, no doubt. I mean, it's Gaga. What do you expect? Gorgeous outfits, by the way, for both performance and regular. Sorry, performance and I guess award acceptance. I don't remember if that's what she was also wearing on the carpet. But she also won, unsurprisingly, it is Lady Gaga. Unsurprisingly, Lady Gaga won Artist of the Year. Facts. I don't even know who else was up for it in that category, but I'm glad she won. Because it's been such a big cultural moment, the entire Mayhem Ball and everything. So I really think that it's very deserved. Let's see. I'm gonna touch on this one because I don't like Doja Cat because of the various things she supports that are not good. But I will give credit where credit is due. Her VMAs performance referenced my favorite weird happening of all time, which is Max Headroom and the Max Headroom incident. Though she seems to more have been referencing the show and not necessarily the incident. Two different things. But I do love to see a Max Headroom reference. That's not going to make up for all the things that she does that are bad, but it's cool to see. Ooh, and then Conan Gray was also at the VMAs, and he did a live performance of Vodka Cranberry, and it was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous. Just the set and the costuming were so pretty. Oh. Also, and I'll mention this a little more later, but we also had a live performance from Cat's Eye for Gnarly, which I will get to a little more later. Okay. I am not what is it, like Uzumume, whatever the horse girl racing game, whatever that is, that game. I do not play that game, as you can tell by the fact that I don't even know how to say the name of the game. But Twitter blew up a bunch. For me, that would have been yesterday, the 9th. Because famed racehorse, I immediately forgot her name. I was about to say her last name, first name, instead of the other way around. Haru Urara, the actual horse, passed. I believe she was well into her late 20s as a horse, so that's quite a long time. And she is infamous for never having won a race. The actual horse, which is why she was put into the game. But the actual horse passed, and of course that generated a plethora of fan art, including some that a good portion, honestly, that have the text that, you know, people have been putting into memes a bunch is, was I a good, you know, blank in this scenario, horse? Was I a good horse? No, I'm told you were the best, kind of thing, which is really sweet. And also, at the stable at which she lived and was cared for at, they've got a little shrine to commemorate her passing in her stall, which is really sweet. And hey, I may not be one for that game, but I do like horses. Not on a horse girl level because I'm allergic to them, but clearly such an impactful cultural horse. It's hard not to acknowledge something like that. Let's see. Silksong's been out for like a week, I think. Let me. Yep. So, Silksong has been out for a week. It's a light. I'm about to say a light spoiler because I'm told it's early in the game. But I just want to give a shout out to the cutest thing I've ever seen, which is the Bell Beast. He's a little cutie. Do I have context? No, but I don't need it. I don't know. He's not on the microphone right now. He's over there, but I do have a little plush pin of the grub, and I absolutely want one of the Bell Beast. Because he's so cute, and apparently you can do something with your little weapon where you can make music, and if you like try to harmonize with him, he like sings back, which is so cute. Oh, people are a little grumpy that you can't pet the Bell Beast. Understandable. Have a great day. He's just so cute. Let's see. Last week I talked about Malamar.mp4, which is as it was posted on Twitter. Of course, that did turn out to be a Mega Malamar reveal. We got it today, I believe. It looks like a mix between the Elder Brain from Baldur's Gate and the brain and spinal cord, like the biggest part of the nervous system. So that's really cool. Also, they just like really upped their marketing for no reason. It was super effective as well, to use Pokemon terms even. It was super effective because it was. Everyone started talking about it because they were like, what is going on? So that was really good. Speaking of, I guess, reveals, there is a Nintendo Direct coming. As of recording, it's a couple days away, but for you watching, it will have been today. And I say today in relevance to upload day for this video. I am more curious as to what they have, because I feel like they might show a little more, they might show the Pokemon stuff that we've already seen, but they're just showing it in a Nintendo Direct instead of a Pokemon one. But I'm not sure what some of the things would be. I know a game called Locomoto just came to Switch. I don't know if that would constitute a part in the Direct. I think it might already be out, so... Ooh, I am hoping for maybe a Witchbrook release date. Maybe. That's a multiplayer game. But... you know, it's tradition at this point where people see a Nintendo Direct and throw out their wildest guesses. So, you know, like I think, excuse me, I think Small Ant went for, you gave me Silksong, now give me Nintendogs or something like that, which was very funny. Ooh, and the Minecraft Live is set for September 27th. I don't know if we've gotten that Copper Age update. If we have, I hope they show us something new. Like, hints towards the new update maybe, or maybe a mob edition. Maybe more ambient noise edition, because I did really like when they started doing that. Not sure what they're gonna do, but I am hoping for something major, basically. Okay. Oh, and something that happened today. And I'm going to put it as lightly as I can. A person who said that gun violence is inevitable, like necessary, and something you just have to come to terms with, passed due to gun violence. So, yep. Pretty much. That happened today. I did see some people find out via the Tumblr page Destiel News. What is it? Destiel News something? Destiel News Network, I think. Honestly, a great thing. Wonderful. Okay. We're gonna move on to the pyramid. I also apologize, this video might be a little shorter than a normal one, but I am sick. Like, actively sick. Like, I have a fever right now. I don't recommend doing this. I'm just stubborn and committed to my weekly video. Not something you should practice. Do not overwork yourself. To be fair, I've been sleeping a lot and I took medicine before this, so I think I'll be fine. I'll just be really tired afterwards. Let's start that pyramid, shall we? First up on the pyramid is Haru Urara, the horse itself. First of all, she was a lovely looking horse. I used to be very opinionated about how horses look because I used to really want to be a horse girl, which is like the most no you didn't kind of statement. But I had enough people who really like around me that were horse girls that I was like, I felt left out. So I was trying to join them in that, but my autism is very picky about what it latches onto, and horses was not it. So, but I know a horse that seems like a sweetie when I see one. Also, she was old. But just to have during your like prime time as a horse, like you're like the peak of your life, in the prime time of your life, and be heralded as not being good. But by the time you age and pass, people are uplifting you and you're no longer forgotten. And it's literally despite the fact that as a racehorse, she was unsuccessful, but because of that legacy, she now holds a place in people's hearts way beyond what her reach of popularity would have been if she was a successful racehorse in Japan. And like she's popular across the world now, you know what I mean? So that shift in legacy is really cool to see. And rest in peace. Rest in peace, Haru. Next up on the pyramid is Hornet, because Silksong. I don't know. There's not much else to say. Everything I'm seeing of that game is really cute. I would talk about it more if I had watched a playthrough, but I'm kind of only seeing snippets. Also, it's only been out a week, so I don't want to divulge too much anyway. For sake of spoilers, I made an exception for the Bell Beast, but it is a very early on thing. And Your Honor, just a little guy. There is another character that I like seeing, but I cannot, first of all, I can't remember the name of the character, but also it seems like a later on thing, so I will be refraining for now. Let's see. But Hornet's on the pyramid because we waited so long for Silksong. Now it's here. Now she can do cute things. And also there's a Bell Beast. But Hornet's on the pyramid. Next up on the pyramid, and I think I've only done this one other time, I've put in a group of people on the pyramid as one unit. But that's because our top 4 for the pyramid are all VMAs performances. So next up on the pyramid is Cat's Eye for their performance of Gnarly. They also did win an award. I do not remember what it was. It wasn't Song of the Year because that went to Rosé and Bruno Mars. But even still, they're a very new group and they've already gotten a VMA. So that alone is a lot, you know? Sorry. Also, fun fact, out of the most viewed performances, number 1 is the performance of Gnarly. And then I don't remember what order they're in, but the rest of the pyramid is also the other most viewed performances. But Cat's Eye was the top most viewed performance. Next up on the pyramid is Conan Gray. I am biased. I have a friend who's super into Conan Gray. And honestly, Conan Gray does make bangers. But again, just the whole outfit and like the entire Vodka Cranberry performance was really good. The carpet outfit that he wore was also really good. Also seems very like underreported for the VMAs for as good of a performance it was and like music quality and stuff like that. It feels like even though it's in the top 4 for most viewed performances, it feels like I've barely heard anything. Like the internet's covered in the other ones. Not so much for him. So, you know. Next up on the pyramid is Gaga. Because Mother. Obviously she's gonna be on here. The performance of her song was really good. And excuse me, she very deservedly got Artist of the Year, which is vastly important. Hold on. Okay. I started coughing a bunch. My apologies. Where was I? Gaga. A very deserved Artist of the Year, as I was saying, especially with like how culturally impactful Gaga has been in general, like across her career, but also the impact that she's had just within the last year is really big. And as like also as a queer person, Gaga just has a lot of gravitas, I guess. A lot more weight in I can't think of the word. Wow, I'm having a struggle bus today, y'all. But there's just a lot more weight for me as a queer person in what, like, how Gaga is handling a situation, I guess. Like, she is always so unapologetically herself, and she's so unapologetically stands up for queer people. She's just, it's very deserved that she's Artist of the Year. And then last up on the pyramid is Sabrina Carpenter. Not only because of her various looks of the evening, but predominantly for that performance. She did, first of all, on the red carpet, she looked like Miss Piggy a little. She even posted pictures of that outfit and then also a picture of Miss Piggy, so it was totally intentional, I think. Either way, banger. But then her second outfit was a dress that Cher has worn, that was sold at auction a while back. And then, but the most important thing, and the biggest reason that she's on the pyramid this week is because of she knew she had a VMAs performance time slot, and she thought to herself, okay, I know I have an outfit change, which means the dancers are going to be center stage for a little bit while I do that. What if we have a bunch of drag queens and a bunch of other dancers as well, all hold up signs calling for like trans rights, protect the dolls, things like that. So using your place of privilege as a white woman in America, a famous white woman in America, and using that privilege to deliver such a strong message where you know people will not be able to look away is really important. And I'm glad she went for it. Because it's honestly setting an example that more people should follow. So that's why Miss Sabrina Carpenter is on the pyramid. Also, bonus points, it is rumored that she will actually be headlining next year's Coachella, which is a little joke that she said at the end of her Coachella set this past year. She may actually have it. So that is all the notes I have for this week. I'm very excited for, let's see. Oh, Critical Role Campaign 3, or Campaign 4 starts in like a month, and they're like slowly releasing teasers for the 13 characters, and one of them is why can't I remember the word? One of them is the Parthenon emoji, followed by the amphora emoji, and then a violin emoji. And I went, who is creating what will be the bane of my existence? Because that's clearly some sort of Grecian-inspired bard. I don't care who it is. I am going to be in shambles. I'm going to be in shambles. Someone said it might be Taliesin or Laura. Even more in shambles, I fear, actually. Also, we seem to have a great range of different D&D races. Some of them implied like I can't remember the name, but like a wolf person, or like a vulpin, which would be a fox person. So I am glad that there's a lot more room for different D&D races, because first of all, everyone's really familiar with like tiefling, elf, half-elf, human, dwarf. We're all pretty familiar with those things. Give us weird shit that has little perks. I enjoy when there are more characters that are a little out of the box, because they will have things that people aren't familiar with and therefore are super interesting to them. So, anyway, hopefully by next week I will no longer be sick and gross. Also, there's quite a handful of you now, so thank you for that. I can't remember, it's almost at 40, I think, which is crazy to me. So thank you all so much. That means a lot, especially since, you know, a lot of people think that success in any form has to be like super like instantaneous. I don't think it does. Like, sure, that happens if like with virality, but like it's also possible to just slowly build up a community. So I thank you all for being here. It means a lot to me. Especially since, you know, I started with the premise of just like mapping out every week with what my brain hyperfixates on that week. And then over time, you can see kind of how everything shifts around as that happens. And it's been a bumpy ride for sure. But thank you all for being here with me in that. Also, thank you for putting up with me being gross and sick. I am so stubborn. So I knew I was going to film anyway. I am having my partner do most of the editing this time, though, mainly because this filming alone will take a lot out of me, so I don't want to push myself too much. But yeah, so shout out to my partner for doing the majority of the editing. For y'all's reference, basically, that really just means that he does all the editing and then I go back in and like shift things around a little to what I usually do to make sure it's lined up with like where I would put things so that it doesn't feel too off to you guys. But yeah, that's how that works. Thank y'all so much for putting up with this week. Also, thank goodness I had D&D right before I got really sick, like literally the day before. Because now I have a week where I don't really need to stress. This whole week I don't really need to stress about D&D planning. So I'm a little less pressed for time. So that's great. Anyways, with that, I think that'll be all for this week. Thank you all so much for watching. And again, crazy to me that there's almost 40 of you. That's a lot. But thank you for being here. You'd think someone with a theater background like mine who's talked to so many people before wouldn't be a little nervous, but also saying that there's almost 40 people who have been like, I like your content, you know, openly, or like, I like your content, I'm going to watch your content creation journey. That's a lot, and it means a lot to me. So thank you all for that. Well, my brain's kind of getting fuzzy from the cold medicine I took. So, with that, I'll see y'all next week. Same time, same place. Hopefully no longer sick. And yeah, thank you again for everyone that's subscribed. There's a lot of you now. But have a good rest of your week, or have a good week next week, and a good rest of this week. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.